everyone, I'm Stephanie. I'm a book-loving, notebook-hoarding reader and writer on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. And this is the Get Literate podcast. Each week, we mix together books, notebooks, mindful practices, and creativity to cultivate a life we love. You can expect regular weekly episodes focused on 3 books you need to know about on a bookish theme, and we'll bring those themes to life in our actual lives too. You can also expect author interviews, notebooking inspiration, and topics to help us grow through what we go through. Now, let's grab a notebook and your TBR list and let's get literate. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Get Literate podcast. If you are listening to this in real time, then today, the day the episode is released, is December 15th. That means there are 10 days left to the Christmas holiday. 10 days to bake those sweet treats, 10 days to hop in the car and browse the Christmas lights, 10 days to do all the wonderful traditions, and of course, only 10 days to buy the gifts. 10 days left, people. And I am going to be busy in those 10 days. That's why I'm here. I am here today to share some bookish gifting ideas for the readers and writers in your life, or you, to help you wrap up your holiday shopping so that you can enjoy the rest of the holiday season. And it's not too late. I know there are all sorts of fears about shipping deadlines and supply chain issues, but the things that I am sharing with you today, you can head to your local box store and pick up. You can head to your small mom and pop shop to see if they have them there. Of course, there's always Amazon with that 2-day shipping if we need it. And my favorite, Etsy. There are so many sellers on Etsy that are still shipping and are doing so quickly in order to get you the gifts you need. And by the way, I'm one of them with my book journal in case you still wanted to pick one up. Now, I'm here today with 10 gifts for readers and writers. Now, I know that our first impression of gifting for readers and writers is to give them books and notebooks, right? But today we are talking about book and notebook adjacent gifts. So 10 gifts that will support a reading and writing life, but that are not books and notebooks. They can be great to pair with a book or notebook, or just gift them alone. Now, they are in no particular order, right? And I'm going to go through them kind of quickly, right? Because you don't have time to listen if you still need to buy gifts with only 10 days left, and I need time to shop. So let's get started and jump right in. And let's begin with some of the book gifts or bookish gifts that I love giving readers. Number 1 on my list are bookmarks. I collect bookmarks. I think I've mentioned it before. I love bookmarks. I love the unique bookmarks. I love personalized bookmarks. I love expensive bookmarks, cheap bookmarks, you name it. I love them. I don't think you can go wrong with a beautiful bookmark as a holiday gift. When I think about what my favorite bookmark or bookmarks are, the first one that comes to mind is one that I bought in Boston at a craft fair on vacation with my family when my kids were little. It was a bookmark that was actually made out of recycled candy wrappers and recycled chip bags. It was amazing that it was upcycled in that way, and it was beautifully woven and just one of my favorite bookmarks that I have. Another bookmark I love is my pressed flower bookmark. I just love looking at it in the spring and summertime when I'm reading. And fun fact, I do change my bookmarks according to the season. It just makes it a little bit more fun. It just jazzes it up a bit. So I don't think you can go wrong if you were to grab a bookmark for the reader in your life. And there's 2 that I actually want to recommend that you can easily get online. The first one is the pressed flower bookmark. that I already mentioned. These bookmarks are beautiful, and you can pick the color and the type of flower that you want to suit your personality, to suit the season, or just to suit your mood for reading. So if you head online to Etsy, the shop is called Mid-Island Ivy, and Courtney is making some beautiful bookmarks there. And I'll be sure to put the links in the show notes. Now, I'm actually gifting a bookmark to myself this season because I found a bookmark that I don't have. I found a kind of bookmark that I don't have. All of my bookmarks are your typical bookmarks where there is some sort of rectangular paper or plastic, and there's usually a tassel or something on the end that's decorative. And this bookmark is actually a corner bookmark. It's a fabric bookmark that is beautiful, and it's personalized with an initial. And instead of tucking it into the inside of the spine and closing the book, you simply set it on the outside of the corner of the page that you're on and close the book instead. It's so unique. I haven't seen it before, but you can bet I'm going to grab one personalized with my initial from the Etsy store I found. And that store is Style Look Art. And again, I'll put the links in the show notes. So bookmarks are the perfect bookish gift. You can't go wrong. And hopefully I've given you a couple possibilities to think about for others or for yourself. Now, number 2 is kind of a broad category. I love all things library card. And so I think some really great book adjacent gifts would be anything with the library card theme. So a tote bag that looks like a library card, a mug for your coffee or tea that's a library card, a pencil pouch that has the outline of the library card, socks that look like library cards. You get my drift here, right? There are so many things that we can personalize with that library card theme, and I think you should. My 2 favorite places to get these things, these library card themed gifts, are Out of Print. So outofprint.com. They have lots of library themed things. I have the pencil pouch. I have the mug. They are wonderful quality. But Uncommon Goods is also another place where you can find some library themed gifts, along with a whole bunch of other things, as you learned last week when we met with Deborah from the Paper Assembly and her beautiful repurposed book trees. So all things library card are wonderful gifts. We could go to Out of Print. We could go to Uncommon Goods. Also, I'd love to remind you that you can go to the book club card online and grab a library card / book club card to share with the readers in your life. I know I've done that, and I can't wait to get them all back. Now, related to that, I want to add one more gift that just is adorable, and that is the at-home library kit. So this is still along the library card theme, but it definitely kips it up a notch, and it just brings back all sorts of nostalgia. It is a little kit that has book plates that look like the library card envelopes, and then it has the actual library cards that you can note who you loaned your book to and who read it, so that it really looks like that old-time, old-fashioned checkout system that we used to have in the library. It even has that library stamper so that you can literally stamp the date like we used to when we were kids, and it comes with a stamp pad too. So all of that library card theme gifting is definitely high up in the ranks in my book. And I think a bag, a mug, a pencil pouch, socks, or even the library kit are excellent gifts. Now, number 3, I say that every reader should have these. I know readers love our sticky notes. We love our sticky flags. We love things that help us annotate our books if we are a book annotator. But do you have book darts yet? If you don't, I think you need to gift them to yourself this season, and definitely pick up a second one to gift to a reader in your life. Book darts are awesome. They are just these very thin little like metallic darts, if you will, like sticky flags almost, but in that metallic material, that when you come across the page you like, you take that dart and you fold it across the page. You can put it at the top of your book, at the side of your book, or what I like to do is actually put it on the section of the page that I want to stop and remember. So that when you close the book, you have these beautiful gold or silver book darts all up and down the pages that act as these really wonderful reminders of the takeaways you wanted to hold close to your reading heart as you were reading. Now, yes, sticky notes can do the job, sticky flags can do the job, or good old highlighters, but book darts, I think, just elevate the reading experience. You can hop onto Amazon and grab book darts and get them shipped to you quite quickly, but I love Modern Mrs. Darcy and all things Anne Bogle, and she has her own book darts. So how wonderful to support another book blogger along the way of ticking those items off of your holiday list. So far we had bookmarks, all things library cards, and book darts. Number 4, I love number 4. Number 4 is a book stamp or a book embosser. Now, I don't know about you, but I do write my name on the inside of the cover of my books. They're mine. I want to see my name there. I want to know that I own them, but I loan them out often. And so I want to make sure that I get some of those books back. And I encourage others to write their name in my book if they have read it, so that I can see at the end of a book's journey how many readers it has impacted. Now, so far, I've just done that by simply writing my name, and that's it. But a book stamp or a book embosser, now that is a bookish gift to love. There are a couple of them out there. You could just head to Google. I'm sure you could go to Amazon, but I went to Etsy, and Etsy had 3 book stamps and 3 book embossers that really caught my eye that I'll link to in the show notes. The first one is this beautiful embosser. It has a picture of an open book and this beautiful kind of tree like growing out of the book, as if it's Catherine Applegate's wish tree and all these ideas are just blooming from the pages. And then in a circular motion around the top, it has your name and who the book belongs to. So that is a beautiful embosser, and that is on eBay. The shop name is escaping me. You think I would remember because it is in my cart, but I'll make sure to put that in the show notes. Now, the second one is a stamp. This one is very simple. It's why I loved it. It just had a kind of a rectangular shape with at the top, it said this book belongs to, and then the personalized name is written in a beautiful font. And that is from Stamp by Me Studio. And then there was one more that caught my eye because the stamp was actually a stack of books. And then around the stack of books in a circular fashion was who the book belonged to. And that stack of books just really jumped out and grabbed my attention. And that Etsy shop is About You Stationery. And again, I'll make sure I have all of these in the show notes. Now, moving on to number 5, this is a gift that I think would be great for a reader and a writer, or quite frankly, anyone who just loves coffee and tea. This gift is the temperature-controlled mug or the mug warmer. So, when you get into a really great stretch of reading or a really great flow of writing, you don't want to disrupt it. You don't want to get up. You don't want to move. You don't want to have to go grab anything. But I do some of my best reading and my best writing with a cup of decaf coffee. Usually it's decaf by my side. But I like my coffee piping hot. And so when it starts to fade in temperature, I pop up and I go to the microwave and I warm it up. This would get rid of that need. You can actually set the temperature you want your coffee to stay at, and it stays at it, right? There's a wide range of these. If you just head to Google or Amazon, you're going to see that there's a lot. I don't have one specific one for you in mind because they do range quite considerably in price. So I would say, look at the options, see what you want the mug to have, and then choose carefully. And if you'd like a lower cost item to start with, you might start with the mug warmer. This is actually what I have, and you plug it in, and it's plug in with a USB, so you can plug it into your computer if you're writing, or you could turn that USB into a plug in the wall and plug it in next to the couch that you're reading at. But you just take your regular coffee mug and you set it on the ceramic warmer, and then it keeps your coffee warm that way. So it's not as fancy and newfangled, but it does do the trick. And it's a really wonderful thing to continuously have that hot coffee as you are reading and writing. Okay, now let's move on to some writing gifts. We've had a lot for readers. We've got one that crosses the line between readers and writers. And now we're going to jump squarely into writing. And the first thing that I recommend for all writers is probably something that you wouldn't have on your list, or you wouldn't think that maybe a writer would need unless you're like me and you have this issue. So what is the gift? Writing gloves. Writing gloves. Gloves that keep your hands warm. Now, you know, if you've been listening for a while, that I have lots of issues with my joints and tendons and muscles in my hands and wrists, which make typing on the computer quite difficult. What comes to my rescue? These horrible looking compression gloves. They're not pretty, but they are effective. And so I use them to help me write. When I don't, my hands get very, very cold and very stiff quite quickly. And so I need these gloves in order to be comfortable to keep going. Now, I have some compression gloves, but I've been exploring some writing gloves. So they're not gloves that actually give you the pressure on your hands. They're just gloves that go around your hands and keep them warm while they are in that writing position. Whether you're writing at your computer, your hands are up and at an awkward angle, or if you're writing at the table with a pen and a notebook, your hands can get cramped. They can get stuck there. So these writing gloves just help keep the blood flow there, keep the warmth going, and, well, keep you writing. There's a lot of options out there. I was actually at a craft fair this weekend, and this woman makes these beautiful cashmere writing gloves. Boy, that would have been a splurge, but I guess it would have been worth it. I did not happen to purchase them because I know the pair of writing gloves that I wanted, and they're online at storyarts.com, or you can head to Story Arts on Etsy. But Story Arts has this entire collection of writing gloves that are based on your favorite classical pieces. So the gloves themselves are fingerless, I guess you'd say. You slide it on and it covers up just the palm of your hand. It fits around your thumb, and then it goes over your wrist and about halfway up your arm to keep it warm. It's not tight, it's cozy. And the decoration or the printing on it is actually the printed words from your favorite classic tales. So you pick the book, your writing gloves arrive to you with those words printed on them. So not only are they keeping your hands warm, but they're inspiring you with writing too. And if you really want to go into the holiday writing glove area, then if you go on Etsy and you go to the shop Words Worth Keeping, they even have writing gloves with the text from A Christmas Carol. So what better holiday gift to give a writer than writing gloves in a holiday theme? Okay, moving on, I want to talk about some writing bling for number 7. So if you're a notebooker, then you are also likely obsessed with all the notebooking bling. The markers, the colored pens, the colored pencils, the brush pens, the felt tip pens, all the pens. I am, for sure. And I know many of you are too. So it's a sorry, not sorry moment. But I think some of the best gifts you could give to a writer in your life is all the pens. Shake it up a bit. right? Write in the notebook with a different color and a different thickness, with a different opaqueness, right? Or grab some different even stamps if you want. Bring those brush pens out. Get the calligraphy ink out. It's amazing what a different pen can do. Not too long ago, Taylor Swift, in one of her acceptance speeches, talked about her songwriting process and said she uses different pens to write different types of songs. Serious pens, furry, fuzzy pink glitter pens for a lighthearted song. And I loved it. That's exactly it. I am definitely a mood writer and I choose my pens accordingly. You cannot go wrong by heading to Tombow, TOMBOW.com, and clicking on any of their marker and their pen sets. And there's always a sale. So those are always great box sets to get for a writer. But Amazon is also really good for this. And right now they have a special on the Cala Art 100 dual tip set markers, only $39.99. If you don't want that many, you can find better deals from there, but they've got them all. And if you really just need to hop to the store and find some, anything Flair felt tip pens is always a win in my book. Okay, let's move on to number 8. I already mentioned sticky notes in this episode and encouraged you to use book darts instead of sticky notes. But I've got a different kind of sticky note for you. I can't believe these exist. I just found them. I cannot wait to try my own. But I think a really great gift for a writer is a sticky note because we are constantly coming up with ideas when we are not in a place to write them down. So maybe they come to us when we're in the car. I hate it, but I get ideas in the middle of the night and things I don't want to forget. And I have to have some sticky notes by my bedside table. You get those ideas in usually the most inconvenient places, but you want to hold on to them. And this pack of sticky notes that I'm recommending are actually sticky notes for the shower. Yes, for the shower. These are called Aqua Notes, and they are waterproof sticky notes. Can you believe such a thing exists? I mean, you have to have one. So this company uses this pretty unique waterproof paper, and it comes with the paper, it comes with the pen, and it comes with those little, gosh, what are they called? Those little cups that you can stick to the shower so that you can place it wherever you would like. And it's okay if it gets damp. It's okay if it gets wet. But if you are remembering something you have to do or something you want to write or an idea you have, you're in the shower, well, the Aqua Notes could come to your rescue. You can get them online. You can just head to Google for those Aqua Notes, but they are available on Amazon in all sorts of different shapes and sizes and are still available for 2-day shipping. Now, number 9. Number 9 is a set of journaling cards. So I actually got these last year, right before Christmas, because I found them when I was scrolling. And it is basically a crafter, a paper crafter, who takes the scraps and packages them up into these beautiful little stacks. So they are mismatched papers, if you will. You can get them in a couple of themes. I got a mixture of regular paper and holiday paper, and they come in these little stacks wrapped up, a pretty little bow. And I just love to use them in my journaling. I use them to write a prompt that I'm writing from, and I tape it to the top of the page. I also love using them to write quotes that I want to remember. And so the quote really stands out on the page. I love them in so many different ways. And so I'm going to be sure to link to the Etsy shop that I bought them from, because not only were they beautiful and beautiful packaged, but I got them quick. And so I'm pretty sure there's still time for you to send the journaler that you love these beautiful stacks of different papers to enhance their journaling practice. Now, number 10, Number 10, not that I saved the best for last, but I certainly saved the biggest for last, is a desk cycle. Yes, a desk cycle. A bicycle that goes under your desk to keep your feet moving and active. I first heard about this from a colleague during our COVID quarantines when all of us were working from home and in hours and hours and hours of Zoom meetings. I made the comment that I felt like a little kid, that I kept tapping my leg and moving my feet around and twisting around in my chair, and I just couldn't sit still because I didn't want to be in front of the camera anymore. And she shared with me this desk cycle, that she just has it under her desk, and during every Zoom meeting, she's pedaling. As she's typing, she's pedaling. I mean, I didn't even know such a thing existed. I knew about treadmill desks. Those were much too big and much too expensive. But this desk cycle can fit anywhere, under any desk, and is actually pretty affordable. So if you sit at your desk a lot, and writers tend to do just that, then you can start pedaling underneath very slowly to keep your legs moving. It helps circulation. It helps with your muscle tone, your posture, it keeps you active. It even burns a few more calories than if we were just writing alone. And it just brings a little bit of movement. And we know that movement sparks inspiration and movement starts creativity going. And so you may not be able to get outside for a walk to get those creative juices flowing, but you could just start pedaling under your desk in the desk cycle. It's definitely on my wish list, and I'm just trying to figure out which one I should get to bring a bit more movement to how much we are at our desks. So there you have it, 10 gifts. Let me just run right through them quickly. Bookmarks. All themes, all things that are themed library card, including that at-home library kit. Book darts, a book stamp or a book embosser, a temperature-controlled mug or warmer, writing gloves, writing bling, think all the pens, sticky notes for your shower, beautiful journaling cards, and a desk cycle. So 10 gifts that are book and notebook adjacent gifts for readers and writers, aka yourself, this holiday season. Now, I want to remind you that all of the links I have mentioned here in this episode can be found in the show notes. You can also head to alitlife.com online, and I hope that you'll pop into the comments there. I would love to know what your favorite book and notebook adjacent gifts are so that I can add them to my list. But don't wait. You need to hurry and let me know what things I should add to my list and to my own wish list, because there are only 10 days left, right? And we need time. Okay, that's it for now. Head online, give me all those comments, and I will see you next week for another episode. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Get Literate podcast. You'll find links to all the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at alitlife.com. And if you want more, you might like to join my Patreon community. There, you'll find additional inspiration for your reading and writing lives, like bonus podcast episodes, book calendars, monthly book clubs, notebooking challenges, live events, giveaways, and much more. It's only $5 a month, and you get instant access to all the previous content too. You can learn more at getliterate.co. But one more thing. If you love what you listened to today, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast, or take a screenshot of the episode and text it to a friend. This helps the podcast grow and builds our bookish and notebookish community too. Thanks so much for listening.